Now it is the continuation of the previous lecture. As we learned earlier that Q equal to mc into delta T, which is also equal to capital C into delta T, where capital Q is equal to heat gain or loss by the system, or heat given or taken by the system. M is the mass of the system and C is specific heat capacity of material of the system. If we will talk about specific heat capacity, then it is a intensive property of the system, because this is mass independent, because we can see here it is to where capital C is heat capacity or thermal capacity, as we discussed earlier, and capital C is equal to mass into specific heat capacity. This property is an extensive property of system, because this property depends on mass of the system. Here you can see that M is coming in the numerator. Now let's see heat given to the system or heat taken from the system, or we can also see that heat given to system is heat gain by the system, or heat taken from the system is heat loss from the system. So when we give heat to a system, then what happens that its temperature gets increased from initial value to final value. So final temperature will be more than initial temperature, and when we remove heat from a system, then what happens that its final temperature is less than its initial temperature. So heat given or heat taken formula is same, that is mc into delta T. What is delta T here? Final minus initial. And since in this case final temperature will be more than initial temperature, so this quantity after calculation will come out positive. And in the case of heat taken, since final temperature is less than initial temperature, so after calculating this quantity will come out negative. But heat is always positive. We always say 5 kilojoule. We don't say minus 5 kilojoule. So there is no problem with Q given. When we give heat, when we give heat to a system, then it always come out positive. So no issue with heat given to a system, but heat taken from a system is come out negative. So to make the heat taken from a system positive, what we do? We multiply this quantity with minus. So if we multiply this minus, so this will become T initial minus T final. Okay, because initial temperature was more than the final temperature. Now heat taken will also become positive. So what we will remember? We will only remember this, that heat given or heat taken from a system is equal to mc into delta T. We will take mod sign. Mod means this quantity will come out positive. We will always take delta T what? We will always take delta T as T higher minus T lower. Don't see final and initials. Always see higher temperature minus lower temperature. In case 1, final is higher and initial is lower. So in the equation it is coming final minus initial or higher minus lower. And in case 2, initial is more than final. So this is higher, this is lower. So in the final it is coming higher minus lower, or simply take the mod sign. If you are getting confused, take the mod sign. Now we will see the principle of calorimetry. According to this principle, during contact, means when a hot body is in contact with a cold body, then what happens? Heat transfer takes place from the hotter body to the colder body. Heat given by hot system is equal to the heat taken from the cold system. One assumption is here that no heat loss to the surrounding. This principle of calorimetry is based on law of conservation of energy, and the other name of principle of calorimetry is method of mixture. Now see principle of calorimetry in detail. Suppose we have two mass, or it is a hot body, and the second body is a cold body. It means that the temperature of T1 is more than T2. Now when the two mass will come into contact, then what happens? Heat will start flowing from hot body to the cold body. And if the contact is removed within a short time, then what happens? The temperature of the hot body will change as well as temperature of cold body will change from its initial value. Temperature of the hot body will decrease and temperature of cold body will increase. So by the method of calorimetry or by the principle of calorimetry, we can say that heat given by body 1, that is heat given by hot body, will be equal to heat taken by the cold body. So we can apply the formula M1 C1 delta T. What is delta T? Higher temperature minus lower temperature. So T1 minus T1 dash, because T1 dash is less than T1. And heat taken by the body 2 is what? M2 C2 into delta 2. And what is delta 2? Higher temperature minus lower temperature. Clear? Now, if this contact is maintained at a longer time and then the contact is removed, it is not necessary that contact is removed. It can be that the contact is keep maintaining here for a very long time. Still, no contact is removed. So the final temperature will be what in this case? Final temperature will be remain same. Both the body will acquire same final temperature. This temperature is called final equilibrium temperature. So again in this case we can say that heat given by body 1 will be equal to heat taken by body 2. Or M1 C1 delta T. What is delta T here? T1 minus T mod, or higher minus lower temperature. Or for body 2, M2 C2 into delta 2. What is delta 2? T minus T2. Because the final temperature is T and initially it was T2. Since T is greater than T2, we will write T minus T2. Principle of calorimetry is not only applicable for two systems. Okay, there can be more than two systems. So if there are more than two bodies or two systems, then what we will do? Heat given by hot bodies will be equal to heat taken by cold bodies, or summation of all heat transfer is equal to 0. Now let's see some numerical to make the thing more clear. If 60 gram of water at 80 degrees Celsius is mixed with 20 gram of iron at 30 degree, find the final temperature of the final temperature. And here is specific heat of water and iron is already given. So by the method or by the principle of calorimetry, we can write that heat given by water will be equal to heat taken by iron. So this will be equal to M water, C water and delta T water, and this will be equal to M of iron, C of iron into delta T of iron. Now simply substitute the values. So water given 60 gram and a specific heat of water is 4.2. Delta T of water, since water is giving heat, so its temperature will decrease from 80 degrees Celsius. So this will be 80 minus T, and put here the other values. Mass of iron is what? Mass of iron is 20 gram. Specific heat of iron is 0.45 and delta T of iron. Since here iron is colder body, so its temperature will increase. So it will become T minus initial temperature. Initial temperature of iron is 30 degree. So simplify this equation, you will get T value. See here, I am taking the same final temperature because this is the case. This we are dealing with here. Which case? Here we are dealing with long time. After long time, if nothing is given in the question, we will always take same final equilibrium temperature, TT. What actually we are doing here? Suppose in a vessel there is water and we add iron block here. Then what will happen? Final temperature will become same for both iron as well as for water. Now see question number 2. If 20 gram of water at 80 degrees Celsius is mixed with 50 gram of water at 30 degrees Celsius, find the temperature of mixture in equilibrium. So again we will apply principle of calorimetry, which state that heat given by hot water will be equal to heat taken by cold water. So in this case, hot water is the water at 80 degrees Celsius, that is 20 gram, and the cold water is 50 gram of water, which is at 30 degrees. So we will apply mc of water into delta T of hot water. Already the higher temperature in this case will be 80 minus T, and for cold water it will be 50 into C water into cold water temperature will increase, so it will be more than 30 degrees. So we will write here T minus 30 degree, and we already know that specific heat capacity of water, that is CW, equal to 4.18 or 4.2 joule per gram per degree Celsius. So when we will simplify this, we will get the value of T, and this will be the answer for the given sum. Now let's see question number 3. In question number 3, it is given that a solid having mass of 30 gram, initial temperature 20 degrees Celsius, and specific heat capacity is 2 joule per gram per degree Celsius, is poured inside water 100 gram, initial temperature 50 degrees Celsius, and specific heat capacity of water is 4.2 joule per gram per degree Celsius. In this case, mass of vessel is also given, and specific heat capacity of the material of vessel is given as 0.6 joule per gram per degree Celsius. In this question they are asking find final equilibrium temperature. So this question become 3 mass system. Till now we deal with 2 mass system, but this question become 3 mass system. So again the concept will remain same. So how we will proceed? So we will write heat given by hot water plus heat given by hot vessel will be equal to heat taken by cold solid, because since in the given sum its temperature 20 degrees less than the temperature of water. But listen very carefully, in the given sum they do not mention the initial temperature of vessel. More time, temperature of vessel will be same as temperature of content inside the vessel. So what is the initial temperature of water? It is 50 degrees Celsius. Therefore initial temperature of vessel will be also 50 degree. Mass of hot water into specific heat capacity of hot water into delta T. And what is delta T? Temperature of hot water will decrease, so we will write higher minus lower, 50 minus T. Similarly for hot vessel, mass of vessel into specific heat capacity of vessel into delta T. What is the initial temperature of vessel? 50 degrees Celsius, as I discussed earlier. So 50 minus T equal to heat taken by the cold solid. So this will be equal to mass of the solid multiplied by specific heat capacity of solid into delta T. For solid, its final temperature will be more than its initial temperature. So we will write T minus 20 degrees Celsius. So simplify this equation, we will get the value of final equilibrium temperature. Now let's see the next question, question number 4. In this question, 50 gram of hot water at 60 degrees Celsius is poured into a vessel containing cold water 20 gram at 10 degrees Celsius. They are asking find if final temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, find the heat capacity of vessel. Final temperature means what, guys? Final temperature means final equilibrium temperature. Clear? So we will apply the same concept that we applied in question number 3. So here we will write heat given by the hot body will be equal to heat taken by cold water plus heat taken by the cold vessel. And what is heat? What will be this one? Mass of hot water into specific heat capacity of hot water. This is equal to 4.2. And what is delta T for hot water? T minus 60 or 60 minus T, higher minus lower? 60 minus T, because it will get cooled down and these two will heat up. So we will in the case of these two body, we will write T minus T lower. So for cold water we will write what? Mass into 4.2 mc into delta T. So delta T higher minus lower, so T minus 10. And for cold vessel, mass of vessel is not given, so M of vessel, specific heat capacity of vessel, is also not given. So C of vessel. And what is delta T of cold vessel? Final temperature will be 10, but what is initial temperature of cold vessel? This will be same as that cold water inside it, yes or no, as I discussed in question number 3. So this will become T minus 10. And in the given question, T is already given 20 degrees, that is final equilibrium temperature is already given. And what we have to calculate? Heat capacity of vessel. And heat capacity of vessel is what? Capital C is what? MC into, sorry, mass of vessel into specific heat capacity. So this is capital C of vessel. This we have to calculate. So simply substitute 20 degree here, here and here, and simplify this. You will get capital CV. That will be the answer for the given sum. As we were dealing with calorimetric term, so this is the second term that usually comes in calorimetry, that is water equivalent of a body. Now what is the meaning of water equivalent of a body? First see the definition. It is the amount or quantity or mass of water which upon heating by same amount of heat would give same rise in temperature as that of that body. And what is the unit of water equivalent? Since it is a mass, unit will be gram or kg. Other definition of water equivalent of a body is, it is that mass of water whose heat capacity is equal to heat capacity of that body. Now let's try to understand. Suppose we have given a mass M and we have water on second. We are applying the same heat such that the rise in temperature is also equal. Rise in temperature, delta T of this mass as well as this water is also equal. Now what we are doing, how this is possible? We will either remove water from the container or we will add water to the container such that for the mass we can write capital Q equal to MC into delta T or capital C into delta T, and for water we can write MW CW delta T or capital CW into delta T. Since capital Q and capital T are same, so capital C equal to CW, as I discussed it earlier, is that mass of water whose heat capacity is equal to heat capacity of that body. So this mass MW of water is water equivalent of this body. So we can find water equivalent of any mass by applying this concept.